how to cement the glass ceramic restorations or zirconia restorations with all the information about the pretreatment. How long should you cure? How long should you pretreat? And here, when it goes about the cementation of the root post, it is also very nicely shown that it is not recommended to apply the material on top of the tooth surface treated with the self-curing primer. As you remember, in the self-curing primer we have initiators, and as soon as molten end comes into the contact of the tooth structure with the primer on top of it, it will be cured very fast. So you have the risk that you will cement your lentua instead of the post. Right? That's why you have to apply the material on top of the post and then bring the post into the root canal using these rotational movements. And finally, you also have in the box the table of combinations where it's shown which material can be used for which indication. Yeah? So you can see that multi-ink can be used almost for everything except of veneers. Normal veneers and occlusal veneers. For that you can use varying materials. On the opposite side of the same piece of paper, you can see combination by products. So if you would like to cement, for example, Amex cat, you can see that you can use these, and these, but with a note. Yeah, it's written recommended depending on indication, because you can use it for the crowns, but not for the veneers. And the same, for example, for zirconia, Amex zircat, you can use multi-link N or multi-link P. So sometimes you will find very helpful information directly in the box, but not all the people know that there is information there. So now, multi-link N. The pretreatment of the restoration is completely the same like we did before. So if you have glass ceramic restoration, you have to etch it and apply monobond N. The only difference will be the pretreatment of the tooth surface, because for the tooth surface we will use this mixture of primer A and B. Okay, so let's hold the only the micro brush with the adhesive. Then I will take the mixing dish with the monobond. Please always take the fresh portion of monobond, and with the other brush I will apply. You can see that sometimes it doesn't work with the bonding. So sometimes it's tricky. So I'll try to use this ultra stick instead. Because I can use this one. So I will use this one because they also have brushes. It's okay. Don't worry. I'll manage that. You just have to apply more adhesive on the brush. Okay, so the monobond is already there, and then I can continue with the tooth. For that I need either the new mixing dish or I will clean this mixing dish that I have from Monobond with the paper tissue completely, and then I will use it for primer. Actually, this is the mixing plate from Multilink N kit, so that's why it's shown here that I have to use this primer NB in equal amounts, so 1-to-1 ratio. Let's say 1 drop of liquid A and 1 drop of liquid B.
Did you put monobond?
No. I did put monobond on the restoration, but now I have to apply this mixture primer NB on the tooth. So for Multilink N we have the other adhesive system for the tooth. This one, white, black bottle. So we have to mix these liquids from the bottles. And then I will apply it on the tooth. So, according to the instruction for use, we have to agitate this primer NB for 30 seconds. It seems to be not very long time when you read it in the instruction, but when you have to agitate it on the tooth, you perceive it like infinity almost, yeah? Because, and striving, and it is still 25 seconds, so 5 seconds more, finally, okay. So, then, it is extremely important to evaporate the excess of liquid which is here, because primer NB uses water as a solvent. We cannot leave this water. What should we do here? We do not have compressed air. We will do the blood drying. Just take the napkin and with the end of the napkin you can absorb the excessive amount of the adhesive. Or you can also do it with a dry microbrush. Okay. But in the real situation on the tooth, you just have to use compressed air and control that you provide the air until any visible movements of adhesive disappear. Good. So the tooth surface is ready. The surface of the restoration is already selenized. We can put the new mixing tip to the syringe. To this Multilink N. Please make sure that you take Multilink N, not Multilink Speed. They are pretty similar. We need Multilink N. Then initial portion comes out away from the restoration. Subsequent material goes not on top of the tooth, as you remember, but on the inner surface of the restoration. You can see that the viscosity of this Multilink N is also pretty nice for the adaptation on the restoration. And good wetting capabilities. So I have applied the material. Now I check all the margins. I go along all the margins because I don't like to have lack of the material at the margins. Good. So everything is covered. And then I will bring my restoration to the tooth. Now I will hold the restoration with the other brush in place, and the first one I will twist away. And now we can also pre-cure the excess in the same way like we did with the warning aesthetic. From every quarter for a couple of seconds. So 21, 22, switch off. 21, 22. Next. And the last one. And after that we have to clean everything very nicely. Of course, when you deal with the inlay only, you need a good instrument for the cleaning. Not this micro brush, you need a scaler. And for the proximal areas, you need a dental floss. But I think that the cleaning procedure is more or less clear for you, nothing special. We have tried with the crowns and veneers.
حتى الآن غيريها وغيريها.
What is important for the cementation of posterior restorations? And anterior as well. After the cementation, you should always double check the occlusal contacts. So, why is it important to check the occlusion? Because sometimes it happens that the restoration sits a little bit different, and you have to adjust the occlusion and polish the contact. But most commonly it's not the problem with the seat of the restoration, but a little bit of the excess. Sorry. Everybody is looking for me today. So most commonly it is not the restoration itself, but the excess of the material. It may be not the cementation material, but the adhesive. Because when you distribute it with air, it goes out beyond the margins of preparation and it stays there. Adhesive is very transparent, you cannot see it, but the patient will feel it. So that's why it is extremely important to polish the cementation joint after the removal of the excess. Despite we think that we have removed everything, it might happen that you still have just a little bit of the adhesive, which can be removed by polishing. And if you use the articulating paper, you can see it better, where the material is still available. But of course, you have to do it also for the cervical margins as well. Good, so after the removal of the excess, the same procedure we have to apply liquid strip, light cure completely, or we can wait for 5 minutes approximately until the material will be set. We can just skip this step because this is nothing special, completely the same like we did for anterior crown and the veneer. And the last restoration that we have is actually this one. You should also have on your tables these cylinders with the caps like a crown on top of the tooth. let's imagine that this is the crown made of zirconia. And when you're going to cement zirconia crown on top of the tooth, or on top of the zirconia abutment, for example, or metal abutment, you can use multi-link speed without any extra, somewhere here, yeah. Without any extra bottles. So you do not need this one for zirconia because it doesn't work with zirconia. This is for glass ceramics only. You do not need this one, which works with zirconia. Why don't you need it? Because to get the bonding between monobond and zirconia, we have the same monomer MDP like here. So this MDP is already integrated in multi-link speed. If you use this one, monobond 10 on top of zirconia, it is not a mistake. But you will just spend more material and more time. You have already this MDP there. But the only thing that you still have to do is to sandblast the inner surface. The inner surface should be sandblasted. And then, after the drying interorally, of course we will get the contamination with the saliva.
Yeah.
So that's why the only thing which might be necessary is eyeball clean. To clean after the drying. You do not have this eyeball clean because we cannot rinse it away. But I can just show you the consistency of this eyeball clean. So eyeball clean is one of the materials which requires shaking prior to use. Then you can actually drip the material directly into the crown, or you can put it somewhere, and then with a brush you can apply it on the crown, or you can distribute it on the surface. It has very nice contrast color, so you can easily see if it covers the inner surface or not. This eyeball clean is applied for 20 seconds, and after that you can rinse it away. Let's imagine that we already did it for the crown. So it's already sandblasted, dried and cleaned. And after that, we can apply multi-link speed directly. The only thing that I need is the mixing tip, the new one. As we always do for the double syringes. First portion outside of the restoration. And the subsequent material you can bring directly into the crown. You do not need a lot of the material, you do not have to fill all the crown. You can put like 1/4 or 1/3 of the material, like this, or maybe a little bit more. Just a little bit. And then you can put this crown on top of the tooth, and you will get the excess of your material all around the crown. And then the same procedure. Take urine of the excess, liquid strip, final polymerization, or you just have to wait till the chemical polymerization. The only difference is that for the take urine, you have 1 second instead of 2. So literally just switch on and switch off. Switch on, switch off. On, off, and the last side, on and off. And then you will get nice ring of the excess. And that's it for this material. You do not need to do any pre-treatments except of the sandblasting or zirconia, if we talk about zirconia. Just apply it into the crown, bring the crown in place, take here the excess, remove it, and then it is almost ready. Of course we have to wait until the material will be cured, because right now I can easily remove it. But if I would light cure the material for at least 10 seconds here because it is very transparent. Restoration a little bit from here. Then it will be very difficult to remove. And multi-link speed has no bonding to this plastic. It is just micromechanical retention here. That's why it is so important for these materials to have retentive preparation design. Because you'll get already very good retention due to the design, due to the shape of your restoration. Here we can rotate the normal crown, you can never rotate it. It will stay there without any problems. But the crown itself should be strong enough, like zirconia, lithium disilicate or metal based. And of course, with these zirconia metals, you get even higher bonding strength because they you'll get also chemical bonding in addition to the micromechanical. Good. Any questions? Yes, please.
Any preparation for the tooth surface when we...
No.
No.
So the tooth surface for multi-link speed should be just clean and dry.
Clean with?
Usually you have the temporary restoration, so that's why you have to remove the provisional and remove the temporary cement. Temporary cement usually is removed with the brush and paste. After that you can rinse with water and dry with air, and that's it.
Okay. I have another question. When we do tooth preparation, when we do inlay, we use the multi-link primer for tooth. Why we didn't use it for the veneer or for the crown?
Because of several reasons.
Okay.
The first reason is that this primer, which is used together with multi-link N, is purely self-etching. You cannot use it in combination with the phosphoric acid.
Okay.
That's why you cannot guarantee that you will get very good bonding strength to enamel. With the volume aesthetic, this adhesive comes in the kit. It is also self-etching, but it can be used with the phosphoric acid in advance.
Okay.
And for the veneers, it is recommended to use phosphoric acid first. This is the first reason. The second reason is that multi-link N still has amines in the composition. Volume aesthetic is amines free. That's why volume aesthetic has better shade stability. It will never change its color with the time. This one will slightly change the color when you have the exposure to the sunlight. And the veneers, they in front of the smile, veneers are thin, so you'll get this exposure.
Okay.
This is the reason.
Okay, thank you.
And there was also
So
a
I
question.
use multi-link in for fix metal post. Can I use?
Yes, sure. Of course, you can use multi-link N for the luting of the metal post. So for the tooth, you have to do like we did today with this tooth for the onlay. Yeah. So it is not shown here. It is shown
Famous
on the
for
other side.
zircon, but
Yeah.
not for metal.
It doesn't matter what kind of the post. The steps that you have are the same. So the pretreatment of the post is slightly different because for the fiber post you have to use alcohol to clean it, and then you can use this monobond N. For metal posts, you can use sandblasting and then the same monobond. Yeah. For zirconia posts, if you have any, you should also use sandblasting of zirconia posts and then monobond on the post. So starting from the monobond, everything is completely the same. The only difference is that for fiber posts you have to use ethanol for cleaning. For metal and zirconia posts you have to use sandblasting. And for the tooth, rinse and drying application of the mixture of primer A and B. Then the excess of the primer you can remove with the paper posts. And then application of molten N on the post and bringing the post into the place. Any other questions? If you have no more questions, thank you very much for coming today. Thank you very much for your attention. And we also invite you to join us for the lunch here. So our colleagues have already organized something for the lunch. And if you will get some more questions afterwards, don't hesitate to contact me. I will put here my business cards. Take
ناخد الاسنان
cards.